All right. We're back, baby. I'll wait for you guys to come in and we'll just try it again. Nothing is for sure in the Earlverse. But that's okay. We're soldiers. I will not be detoured from giving you guys a great stream with volume. Sorry about that, boys. I don't know what happened there. I do my best. We are live, babies. It's technically the birthday stream in the Earlverse. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for sticking with me. You guys are soldiers in the Earl Army. And I just got held up with some business yesterday. And, here we are. Well, I do have good lighting tonight, but the background on the TV is the lighting, so it's going to change from time to time. It's on the screensaver. Of course, we got the Survivor season debut tonight. We've got Big Brother on tonight. We've got AEW Dynamite on tonight. The return of the Earlverse. And, sometimes I get busy with voiceover stuff and whatnot. So when I get home, I don't want to talk anymore. So I do apologize for the lack of streams lately. But, and I'm also in these things that are called looping groups, which I think I explained a few streams ago. But let's move this over a little bit. Yes. Where, if like Stallone does Cobra and then he goes off to do another movie, but there's some sound issues. They hire a guy like me to come in and read the lines and whatnot. And it's great. I find your lack of streams disturbing. That's a little Darth Vader impression for you. Rest in peace. The great James Earl Jones, the GOAT of voiceover acting. Queen on $4.99. Who would win in a fatal four-way match? Rude versus Sid versus Kamala. Oh no, he was called Kamala versus Sting. I mean, I'd have to go with Sid. Be a great match, though. I mean, Rude and Sid would probably be pretty stiff with each other. It depends on when this match took place. I mean, Sting's pretty green. If you go baby Sting, wow, you guys are not fucking around with the super chats right now. And I do apologize for the lack of streams, but in the voiceover world, you're doing voiceover recordings for like 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours. To be brutally honest with you, the last thing I want to do is come home and do another hour stream. Nothing against you guys. I love the Earl soldiers. Ross Dogs, $20. We don't get many of these orange windows here. Happy birthday, Earl. We didn't say Earl. Happy birthday. Please spend this on Lois. Who took care of her while you drove to that awful Hackamania? P.S. Predator is the best film of the 1980s. P.S.S.S. Barry Ribs impression, please. I'm going to show you what some friends of mine gave me for my birthday, and we'll do a little Barry Ribs impression while showing you my gifts. My latte ready? That's my Barry Ribs impression. Pew! Um, so this comes from we'll just say a friend from Alabama. First of all, they sent me this. Be cool, be cool. Gotta be cool. And then I'm hiding their gender. Thank you very much. I'm gonna frame that. How jacked he was, man. And then the great Andrew Stovekin, the creator of the Inappropriate cover art, did every single one of them. Uh-oh, what is this? Move it, creep. Now, I only really play sports games, but I will definitely try my hand at RoboCop, the video game. So thank you very much, Ross Dogs. Unnecessary to give that much, but thank you. J-Man Jack, $5, a big contributor. Happy birthday. My actual birthday is September 17th. I had some business to attend to. Queen on, $9.99. Hello. Favorite Sting memory. I mean, that's a lot of memories, man. 40 years of memories, basically. I would say the ones that instantly just came into my head were and it's not talked about a lot, but when Sting and Ric Flair were a tag team and they were wrestling Brian Pillman and Arn Anderson, and for a while it was a handicap match. Ric Flair was nowhere to be found. Ric Flair shows up halfway through the match. Arn and Pillman are beating the shoot out of Sting. And, they're teasing the tag to Flair, and everyone wants to see Flair against Arn Anderson and Pillman, the Four Horsemen. And then Sting, does the classic dive into the corner, hits Flair's hand. Flair gets into the ring, acts like he's going to hit, I think it was Pillman, and then he turns on Sting. It's just really well done. There's not great footage of that on the internet. I think there's one clip and the sound is off, but I saw one clip where the sound was, I think it was Jim Ross on commentary. It was pretty awesome. Might have even been Jim Ross and Shivani. So that was awesome. Another Sting memory was when he got kicked out of the Four Horsemen and they beat the shit out of him. When he was in the ring and JJ Dillon was with like four bimbos, and he called out JJ Dillon. So JJ Dillon comes to the edge of the mat and is wearing a tuxedo, and he throws wine in Sting's face. So Sting gets him into the ring, and JJ Dillon actually really sells for Sting, because you could tell Sting was a little green and didn't know what to do really, and you could hear at one point, I think, JJ Dillon call out to him, "Come on, hit me." So those are my favorite Sting memories. Of course, the last match on Nitro with Flair, it was pretty emotional. Barry Ribs is great, but he's kind of missing. I haven't really listened to a lot of the Dabbleverse lately, to be honest with you. Just because it's all about Aaron and his jail stuff, and it's not interesting to me. And like, it's just like, I don't know. It's just not interesting. Did Vinnie Vincent send you my elusive box set? He did not. He didn't even send me the box. tell you, Peter Weller is a legend. I met him at Best Buy. Sting, yeah, he did not deserve that. And what up? What up, Chris Mack? I bet Earl destroyed so much dirty LA Beaver for his birthday. Let's just say I did what I had to do. I took care of business. I land in Vegas around noon Wednesday. That would be today. Think about grabbing tickets to the Kings game that night. Yes, the Kings, I believe, opened training camp today. And then I was at the final rookie game on what was it, Monday afternoon. So I got to see Brant Clark and some of the Kings, Liam Greentree. And the cool thing is, if you go on my Instagram, I'll put the handle right here. You will see my newest picture is with one of two of my favorite hockey players growing up. Of course, you know I love Barry Beck, the giant defenseman. Thank you, Sour Milk. Um, and little 5'9", 170-pound George McPhee, who later on was the general manager of the Washington Capitals and the architect and general manager of the Vegas Golden Knights hockey team. And I got to meet George McPhee and take a picture with him. So I was pretty pumped up. He's very nice too. Like I was a little scared because he was on the phone. I just said, he looked up and kind of gave me a nod, like, "Hey, like you're my favorite player growing up as a kid with Barry Beck." And he just stopped who he was talking to and like talked to me for a minute or two. And then of course I saw the great Shane Doan, who I believe is now a scout for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and he instantly looked up at me and go, "I remember you." So it was really awesome to see Shane Doan again. Are you as old as me yet? Did you catch me? I don't know how old you are, Fernagio. It was very fun, and Shane Doan, to show you how nice Shane Doan was talking to a bunch of scouts because the Kings had a rookie tournament where I believe there were 7 teams there. It was the Utah Hockey Club, the Vegas Knights, the Ducks, the Sharks, the Kings, and I think one other team, maybe not Arizona, but I forget what. There were 7 teams, and he stopped what he was doing and spoke to me for a few minutes and said, "Let's take a picture." I am 56, Fernagio. I'm happy that Victor Hedman has officially been named the captain. Yeah, I mean, he's taken a lot of, you know, uh, discounted salary to make sure the Lightning have enough money to. Oh shit, Mark Fernandez in the house. We have a comedy legend, Fernagio, in the YouTube stream. Mark Fernandez is a very funny, originally from San Diego comic who's in the jungles of LA comedy. Doan is the face of the Utah Hockey Club now, I guess. But it was really awesome to see Shane Doan again and to meet George McPhee. Just look up George McPhee, New York Rangers, and even if you don't like hockey, you will enjoy his fighting style immensely. Um, so, I'm glad to have hockey back. Kings are looking good. I don't want to bore you guys with hockey talk local to my team, but Kings have switched some players. And is Shane Doan the best Coyote ever? I mean, he's up there for sure. I mean, it's either him or Ekman Larson. I didn't like how he cheated with the jersey coming off because I've gotten into some hockey fights myself, and guys would do the same thing where you'd go to pull their jersey or tug on their jersey, and their jersey just comes off, and then you've got nothing to grab onto. But one of my favorite fights is Rob Ray against Dave Brown because Dave Brown kind of manipulated his jersey where his left sleeve was so tight it was like literally trying to grab his skin. And so Probably and it wasn't cheating at the time. I mean, Basil McRae had Velcro sleeves, so when you would grab his sleeve, like right here, it would just fall off. Um, so, but Rob Ray, his shirt comes off, so Dave Brown had nothing to grab onto. And then Rob Ray clocked him with, I think it was a right hand. Man, Dave Brown, you never saw Dave Brown stop punching. He stopped. Shane Doan's like he's got the fountain of youth. He looks amazing and looks in better shape than most of the players I saw who were playing. Probert was the king of Probert. Probert's the greatest of all time. Although I will say this, I think Joey Koser's the scariest fighter of all time because with Probert. The worst thing that would happen to you if you fought Probert, a broken nose. I mean, if you go through the laundry list of guys he fought, very few guys had serious injuries. I think, I'm trying to think. I mean, even when he decked Troy Crowder in the rematch, Crowder got up, there wasn't a mark on his face. Whereas Joey Koser, I mean, he ended guys' careers. I mean, he ended, I think it was Larry Playfair's brother's career. I mean, literally went to the penalty box with Larry Playfair's brother. I think Jim Playfair was his name, with Jim Playfair's teeth in his hands. I mean, that's how hard he hit you. Ended Jim Kite's career, essentially. Ended Brad Dalgarno's career. I think he broke his orbital bone with a glancing punch. So who would win in a fight, Cam Neely or Ty Domi? That's a tough one because, I mean, I've obviously done the Ric Flair roast with Ty Domi, and man, when we took a picture together, I put my arm around him. It was like solid steel. His whole body he's jacked still, and his head is probably on the level of the size of my head, which is a big dome. Trust me on that one. So if anyone wants to cringe to death, watch Uncle Laser do comedy. No, thank you. Happy 35th birthday. I wish. Probert was Flair's favorite hockey player. Yeah, they were friends. I think Probert, I recall, had some kind of an angle in W. Who would win in the fight? Ty Domi, George Laraque, or Peter Worrell? That's an interesting one. I mean, Domi, you just can't hurt him. Like, look at that one fight, the rematch in the Garden with Probert. Probert, I think they said, landed like 12 straight punches to Domi's head, and there wasn't a single scratch on Domi's head. Not a single scratch. I mean, Laraque's definitely the strongest. Worrell had a tough body. I remember one game at the Forum in LA. For some reason, Peter Worrell was really trying to get under Rob Blake's skin, the current LA Kings GM. And I mean, no one on the Kings could take him on. He was 6'8" and lanky, not the most muscular guy in the world, but I mean, very, very hard guy to fight because he was so lanky. Some great fights, by the way. If you follow like minor league hockey, junior hockey, the Kings had a guy in camp. I wouldn't call him a kid. He was like 24, I think. It's a kid to me, but John Parker Jones, he's about 6'7", 230, 240. Well, that's not true, Ryan. I think Cam Neely fucked with Darius Kasparaitis a lot and took him out. Lindros and Kasparaitis were not exactly on friendly terms, and Messier did not like Kasparaitis because he wasn't a great fighter, but he wouldn't care. Like, he'd get in your face, he'd get in Probert's face, knowing that Probert is going to kill me, but I don't give a fuck. So thoughts on Jeremy Roenick? Horrible in LA. He's at the end of his rope, but one of the greatest U.S. hockey players. Especially his Chicago run. And then I think when he got into LA, he was, LA is the worst city in the world to play hockey in when you're at the down slope of your career. Because there's so much to do out here. I think you just think, maybe I'll get into acting. And I mean, I remember Roenick played a cop in that CBS show Hack, which I really loved. That's a show that's really one of the great. I think it was a 1 or 2 season and done show on CBS starring David Morse, who's like a character actor, but in this one he was the lead, like taxi cab driver who solved the crime. Earl, how many broads did Wilt Chamberlain claim to slay? I think he said over 20,000. But I did the math, and even for an NBA player with a big dick like Wilt Chamberlain, it doesn't really add up. I mean, it would have had to have been something like 4 girls a day for 10 straight years, you know. Gretzky in LA was awesome, I mean, I'll never forget, that's, one of those, it's weird, like, I hate to correlate it to this, but, we all remember where we were on 9/11. I was just getting up, my sister calling me, "Turn on the TV." I remember exactly where I was when, I was on the corner of Pico and Overland with my 2 buddies, and we're stopped at the light. Now, if you're not from LA, Pico and Overland was, basically the intersection of the West Side Pavilion, which is where the Tom Petty video Free Fallin', was filmed, or some of it. And breaking news: the LA Kings have just traded for Wayne Gretzky, Marty McSorley, and Mike Krushelnyski. And in return, the Edmonton Oilers get Jimmy Carson, Martin Gelinas, and $15 million in cash. And I remember here we are in the middle of traffic, and me and my 3 friends got out of our car and just started running around the car like, "We got Gretzky, we got Gretzky." And people were like, "Well, who?" Yeah, David Morse, great character actor. I mean, I love him in The Negotiator, even though it was starring Kevin Spacey. I liked Hack. Andre Brower was in it. Andre Brower to me it was like the Black Gene Hackman. Like he was good in anything. Hit the like button, please. Earl was meant to be on the flight when Danny DeVito's butt got stuck in traffic. Maybe. I remember the late John Witherspoon would, how many people fit in the Staples Center? Wilt fucked them all. Yeah, I mean that's it's pretty accurate if you believe Wilt. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think he got a lot of puss, but I don't know if I would say 20,000. I love David Morris, great actor. Just got a great look, like that Irish cop on the beat, big body, not muscular, but like a big Irish. Like I could see him playing like he's too big to play Whitey Bulger, but um, a very, very underrated actor. Not sure what he's doing now. Um, does Diddy have any Earl videos? I've never been to a P Diddy party. You'd think I would have given some of. Well, I tell you, if you really want to talk in the history of the world, who's gotten the most pussy, I would narrow it down to Vince Neil, who's been fucking girls since he was probably 14. And then, when he was on the strip, even before Motley Crue popped, he was fucking a lot of girls. Tommy Lee fucked a lot of girls. Like, that's, Vince Neil for probably a 10-year run, Brett Michaels from Poison. Those are 2 guys I could say they did fuck 3 to 4 girls a day for a long time. Um, so yeah, I love John Witherspoon. I'm friends with his son, who was on the Jellies, and I see him frequently at the Comedy Store. I mean, well, that's where I think people talk about Queen on David Lee Roth. They're like, "Oh, he's gay. He likes dudes." But I honestly think David Lee Roth fucked so many girls that he got bored, and then he was like, "Yeah, a weenie, yeah, that don't look too bad." I mean, I've been with a lot of girls. I'm not at that point yet. Um, so I mean, I had the supplies to make girls happy. Zoom, you know how I roll. I still get a lot of repeat business. Trust me on that one. You know, I mean, my mom said always make the girl happy first, and they'll come back. And I'm not going to say they all come back, but most do. Trust me on that one. Of course, it doesn't help. Uh, it doesn't hurt that the $300 or $400 dinners they stop once Skakel's out of the picture, and then you're off at the hometown buffet. I mean, right now, I don't really like baseball. I'm kind of an Angels fan, and that's we have Ghost Energy drink. Thank you very much. Just I don't know how to describe this flavor. I guess electric limeade. It's all right. Now I'm the Samoa Joe of comedy. It took me a while to get my flowers, as they say. Um, no, yes, it is too late for Ray DeVito talk on my birthday stream. Definitely, no Dabbleverse talk on my birthday. Now, when it's your birthday, we can talk about whatever you want. That's my thing in the Earlverse stream. So when it's anyone's birthday stream and you want to talk about Ray DeVito or M. Holt or Stuttering John or Melton and Chad going at it or MLC, Kevin, and where's Peter Chicken Man Brennan on my birthday stream? How dare he miss this? We can talk. That's the new rule in the Earlverse. When it is your birthday and you have to have verifiable proof that you're going to need to send me a screenshot of your driver's license, and you could dictate the conversation of the Earlverse for that night. I'm a giver. You want to talk about the Quad Father for an hour? We can do it. Chicken Man Brennan is he might be the number one um, stream watcher. I mean, I always see him in everyone's stream. Earl, are you surprised about any of the Diddy charges? Not really. I mean, you always heard rumors of his parties, and he's probably going to end up to be the Black Epstein. And I don't mean from Welcome Back, Cotter. Hello. I used to play basketball with that guy at Poly Pavilion. Thank you very much. So, I listen. He's a predator, and in the music business, for every Taylor Swift and Billie Eilish, there's 10 of those girls who don't make it, who end up hanging out with P Diddy, and then they go back home with their tail between their legs. So it's unfortunate that people like him exist, but they exist in comedy, they exist in music, acting. Men telling everyone it's their birthday is gay. I don't, really. I mean, people post, "Hey, it's Earl's birthday." I don't really advertise it's my birthday, but this is my first birthday in the Earlverse. So, Robert Hayes from Airplane, Jeff Lynne. I love. The guy I feel sorry for the most in the Traveling Wilburys is the drummer. Like no one ever talks about that guy, and he was an amazing drummer. I tried to get him on my podcast. It's like, everyone wants to talk to Harrison and Roy Orbison and Petty and Jeff Lynne. No one wants to talk about the drummer. And he holds the beat in that legendary band. But he had been dead for like 5 years. Same thing with the blind guy from the outfield. If you watch the first couple videos of the outfield, I guess the record company wanted to make them look like a bigger band because they were really always just a three-piece. So they put in like some 80s metal guitar player looking guy and then a guy on keyboards who had like sunglasses, and he would always like do the Stevie Wonder. I'm like, that's kind of rude. This guy's gimmick is acting blind. So I tried to get him on the podcast, and he had been dead for like 5 years, and he actually was blind. So then I felt bad. Pew! Oh, Robert Hedges. I thought you meant Robert Hayes. Thank you, Fern. Yeah, I don't know what his association was with UCLA, but there was a real. You talk about the White Shadow is a real ragtag group of guys playing basketball on the main court where the Bruins would play. And I don't know how I got in there, but I mean, I used to sneak into the Wooden Center, which is where all the students work out at UCLA, and the Fox executive, yes, the great Randy Stone. Rest in peace, Randy Stone. Or what's your real opinion of Tears for Fears? I like their hits. To be honest with you, Ryan Flynn, Dylan's still available. I don't know what you're referencing. I mean, but getting back to Tears for Fears, I like the hits. Everybody wants to rule the world. I don't know the words. Shout's a great song. They strike me as a band. If you did a deep dive into some of their B sides, there'd be some good songs. Earl Earl was William Catt's understudy in 1992. I wish. The great William Catt, Inappropriate Earl alumni. Um, yeah, I mean, it's like what I was listening to some Killers. I'm a big Killers guy. Um, and they've got some great B-sides that aren't their hits. I mean, they release so many albums and singles that there's a lot of songs that kind of like Weezer. Like Weezer has so many albums, so there's some uh, great undiscovered Weezer songs. Favorite Weezer song. Thank you, Teddy. Thank you, Teddy. My favorite Weezer song. I mean, I guess Buddy Holly. Excuse me. Um, I like Surf Wax America. That's kind of a underrated song. The Sweater Song. In the Garage. And they've got some songs on the White Album that I really liked. And they do a great, great cover of the Poison song Talk Dirty to Me that you can find pretty easily on YouTube. It's a faithful cover. Hit it, CC. Do you, do you, do you, do you, do you, do you, do you know I see you. I see you on the telephone. I'm only hoping that you're home. And they do a good job. What other Weezer songs do I like? Pork and Beans, of course. And fuck the Groundlings. Fuck Sean Hogan, that son of a bitch. Um, Tony Falcone isn't around to dress up like Marilyn Monroe and sing Happy Birthday. Yeah, rest in peace, Tony Falcone. There's no confirmation of his death. What up, private account? I like your style. You're a lurker. Oh, here we go. Here we go. My birthday stream is now complete. The circle is now complete. Happy birthday, Daddy Man. Did Tupper and Piper text you? F. Neil. That might be the real Kevin Brennan. Hello. I was asking about you, Chicken Man. Pro Israel. Yeah, we can. It is a birthday stream tonight, private account, but you can wave the Israeli flag in here. Uh, And I think Weezer does a great cover of actually Paranoid and not Pork and Beans, but what's the Africa? Piper and Tupper. That's an old school reference. Now I believe, and I don't understand why Weezer does this, but sometimes Josh Freese drums, and Josh Freese, well-known drummer. He was on Chinese Democracy. And then Scott Wilson, the regular drummer, plays the guitar. I don't know. Teddy, what flag is that? Is that Norway? Yeah, that's crazy. The pagers. I was just talking about that with someone today. Like Israel, you got to figure that's a Mossad operation. Okay. Shout out to Greece. But I'm wondering why Weezer brings in Josh Freese. Unless Scott Wilson's like, I don't want to play drums that much anymore. I'm not privy to the private discussions of Weezer. But there's a great live version of Pork and Beans where I think Josh is on drums. Scott's is the drummer's name Wilson? Patrick Wilson. I'm sorry. Scott is the bass player. My bad. But didn't the Mossad blow up the batteries in these pagers? I mean, the Mossad don't fuck around, man. They will get their revenge at some point. I like Buckethead because he's a big fan. Buckethead might be the second biggest Giant Robot fan. He does a great cover of the theme song. Let me see if I can remember the theme song from Giant Robot. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Now imagine Buckethead playing that on the guitar. Little whammy bar in there. Um, yeah, I mean, Freeze plays for everyone. Freeze is like my buddy Brent Fitz, the great drummer in Slash's solo band. Brent's played with everyone. The Bullet Boys, Vince Neil, Theory of a Dead Man, Took, a big Canadian band. He played for Alice Cooper. I'm not really a huge. Thank you, private account. Yeah, Buckethead is a virtuoso. I mean, I could understand why certain people don't get into him because he's such a technical. A lot of people might argue that he doesn't have a lot of melody to his playing, but like if you like just pure guitar skill, like he's the real fucking deal. So I mean, I think Freeze would play drums for me if I could, afford him the money, honey. Um, you know, just like the guy who drums for Stephen Pearcy now, the great Blas Elias, Slaughter's drummer, and he was drumming for the Blue Man Group in Vegas. So you wouldn't think an '80s metal guy would be down with that, but he certainly um, was down to play with the Blue Man Group. So thank you for all the birthday wishes. Did you see Alice Cooper play with Ministry, another band too, but they're on tour together? I saw Alice Cooper play at the Orange County Fairgrounds about a month ago. No opening band, just Alice Cooper. Of course, I got to see my friend, Inappropriate Earl alumni, two-time Inappropriate Earl alumni, the great Nita Strauss, playing with my good buddy Ryan Roxy, Tommy Hendrickson, the number one drummer in all of rock and roll, Glenn Sobel, and who is the bass player, Chuck Garrett. Great show. I don't listen to Ministry. I'm not against them. Well, no, but I mean, I don't. I'm not familiar with the Blue Man Group shows, but I guess they have a backing band, and I guess Blas Elias. He's a Vegas native, I think, so it's probably a pretty easy gig to get. Can you do a roast battle reunion for your birthday? No, my time with roast battle is done. There's really no one, and even if I said, "Oh, okay, I want a roast battle," uh, there's really no one I want to battle. I mean, I think at some point I had a fantasy or whatever you want to call it of battling Jeff Ross. So that'd be a good way to bury the hatchet. Let's just talk shit about each other and then whatever at the end. But he wouldn't even write his own jokes. He would have my ex-girlfriend Olivia write him 5 jokes, and trust me, I'm very comfortable going up against her writing. I beat her, so I wouldn't even be battling Jeff. I would be battling Olivia, and then I mean, there's just no one. Like, who would you want to see me battle? Uh, I would battle Jimmy Carr again because he's so fucking cool. Like, that's a guy who gets it. ACDC 5150 $1.99. You watch new Paramount Plus hair metal documentary? I haven't, but I'm going to sign up for Paramount after this stream so I can watch Tulsa King and that, because I know a lot of people in that documentary. Do you listen to Jewish music? Not really, to be honest with you. But I mean, I don't know what your private account, what Jewish music is. You mean, do I like rock out to Hava Nagila? Not really. Hava Nagila. Do you forgive Brian Callen? I don't, because I believe my friend's allegations. Do I forgive Jeffrey Ross? Not really, because Sobel is a great drummer. In terms of Jeff, I mean, I don't want to bore you guys with that shit again, but you get fucked over on 2 TV shows, you get taken off the roast of your best friend because he's too much of a puss to deal with a few jokes. There's nothing he could do that would ever make it right. And I had this conversation with people the other day. like, dude, just let it go, and karma will come back to him. I'm like, nah, that's not how I roll. I'm like the Mossad in that way. I don't let other people flip the bill for my ill will. I'll get my revenge, and even then, I won't be happy, but it'll make me feel better. At least I'm honest. Chad Zumach, Earl versus Chad. It would definitely go 3 battles. No, I don't think Chad would do very. Uh, Like, it would be a good battle from the standpoint of me and Chad are friends, but, I don't do, Zoom roast battles. I'll never roast battle again, but, um, if I whatever, I wouldn't even do it for a lot of money. It's face to face because there's something different about face to face. Anyone could be on a Zoom and go, "Okay, Earl Skakel is so old that blah 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 blah," and then look at me on my computer. Go, "Okay, Earl, hit me back." Okay, you know, Chad Zumach is Kevin. Who won that round? It's in the same room. Uh, Peter Chicken Man Brennan, will you roast battle Jeff Lifshitz for MLC's 1000th episode? He goes way back with Jeff. If it's in the same room. But like I just told you, Chicken Man, he would just hire my ex to write 5 shitty roast jokes. So I wouldn't even be battling him. Jeff will never write his own roast jokes. Trust me, I know. I've written a few for him. Well, they show last season of Tulsa King on CBS, but I don't believe they show this season. Kiss is Jewish music. Well, if do I listen to Jewish artists? Yes. Do I listen to like Jewish music? Like, la, 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 la? I don't. Uh, I mean, dude, Teddy, I would have roasted him on certain subjects that, were in the news. I think you guys can read into what I'm saying, but it wouldn't have ruined the roast because the roast was for Adam, not me and not for Jeff. And it's just like, I never had any respect for him in the first place because I saw how he operates. He uses people and then spits them out. He just picked the wrong guy to use and spit out because, you guys know me. You guys, there might even be people in this stream who don't think I'm funny, and that's fine. Or you want to troll me, that's fine. But one thing even my trolls can't say is I'm honest to a fault. Uh, Chad stand-up stinks, but he's an awesome podcaster. You might think I'm lying to you. I've never seen a stand-up, and I've known him for 15 years. I've known Hinchcliffe for 15 years. Never really seen a stand-up. Did Jeff Ross give you a B-Day shout-out? Hello! He didn't. Why don't you guys troll him into doing it? By the way, I have no control over what you guys do. I know a couple people on Instagram troll them, not for me because I don't ask, but I know it bothers them. Kumia Country, happy birthday, Earl. Thank you, Waber. Peter Chicken Man Brennan, what store comics most likely come up on Diddy's videos? Nasser, Talia, Callan, or someone else? I mean, I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, uh, I don't know. I mean, that's very interesting, your choices. I mean, I think we can eliminate Josh Nasser from being invited to Dalia. I mean, here's the thing. Who was most likely invited to Diddy's parties? Probably Dalia, Callan, Ross, uh, Bobby Lee. Now whether they did anything at these parties, who knows? Jeff Ross is a face for radio. Yeah, ham radio. Hello. Is Hinchcliffe the best roaster? He did very well on the Tom Brady roast. Is he, but roasting is different than roast battle. A lot of people want to see me and him go at it. Now, if Tony would have beat K. Trevor Wilson in season 1, me and Tony would have gone at it. Good for you, Waver. Good for you. Hit the like button too. Thank you guys for all the birthday wishes, and let's thank the super chatters. You know, I always like to let them feel like appreciated. Queen on Ross Dogs, the great J-Man Jack, Queen on again, Peter Chicken Man Brennan, ACDC. I appreciate it. You guys know how I feel about that. Thank you for the tips. Who would win in a roast? Schaub, Schumer, or Cummings? I think Whitney would win because she's good at that style of humor. I think Schumer's probably too sensitive, and Schaub would just not have the comic sensibility to be able to get rebuttals, which was my thing. I was never a great roast battle writer, but my thing was on the fly rebuttals. Um, so thanks. Did you mean to say thanks for answering your question about Jewish music? No problem. Fernagio. See ya, Fernagio. Hope to see you out and about soon. Yes, follow the great um, Mark Fernandez. Mark, give us your Instagram handle. Mark is a very good dude. We've been comedy soldiers for a very long time. So please, as a favor to me, follow Mark Fernandez. Teddy, $1.99. You destroy Ross in a Fight Club fight. The first rule. Well, let's just say I know some things. I might not be the funniest roaster. I might not be the best roast battler, but what I am miles above anyone in roast battle is I'm what you call in the world I'm an information gatherer. And if it's true, it's on the table. And I fact check to make sure it's true. Because there's nothing better in roast style humor, whether it be a roast or roast battle, the truth. Doesn't even have to be that funny. But the truth is you can't really rebut it. Excuse me, this is non-carbonated. ACDC. Oh, you and Dr. Nova are talking now. Okay, that's fine. Watching Schaub in a roast would be the saddest, most cringe thing in the world. He'd be too dumb to make jokes, let alone rebuttals. And his massive ego, fragile ego, wouldn't allow for the criticism. Well, you got to have a thick skin. Like in roast battle, I knew what the jokes were going to be. Really, it's going to be how old I am and how I fuck young girls, and I was one of the better looking people involved in roast battle. That's not saying much. So it's like, you want to make fun of my looks? I guarantee you I get more pussy than you. You want to make fun of my age? I'm going to outlive you. Yes, I fuck young girls. What a bummer. So you have to really Schaub, if he had a thick skin, probably could be a good roaster. He's like, hey, I could kick your ass. Renner and Affleck were pretty convincing in The Town. You mean as homosexuals? Okay, if everyone follow Mark Fernandez at Bernagio, Peter Chicken Man Brennan. We the Brennans, thank you for roasting Leslie Jones about looking like a man. I don't think I ever did that. That was Dave Taylor. What's up, Earl? Happy birthday, brother. Thank you, Jose. Earl versus Leslie Jones would be great. Leslie would not be a good roaster. She's way too sensitive. And, you can't be sensitive when you're doing a roast battle. Do I like hearing jokes about my parents dying 2 months apart? My mom dying of brain cancer, dad dying how he died. No, but I'm very sensitive. But when I'm on a stage and in a roast battle situation, I'm a different human. You can't hurt my feelings. I've heard everything you're going to tell me 100 times over. Leslie's kind of the opposite. Like Leslie, and keep in mind, we used to be good comedy friends. We were never friends like outside of comedy, but she's way too sensitive. Way too sensitive. So I fucked one girl 40,000 times. Sure. The Town. Okay, I haven't seen that movie. Do you think it's weird Schaub, who was a UFC fighter, can't have his balls busted? Well, I think most guys who earn their mark being physical bullies can't hang verbally. Um, and I think, on a lot of the podcasts that Schaub's on, he's definitely the least funny. But he's doing podcasts with like Jeff Dye, who's a great comic, and you know, I don't like Callan as a person, but he's a great performer. And Rogan's obviously the king of kings in podcasting, and um, I just don't think Schaub is equipped to uh, be good at either roasting or roast battle. To be frank. Um, No, well, if I have a new rule waiver, if it's your birthday, I'm talking about the people in the stream, you can talk about whatever you want, but I don't believe, you can ask me a question about Kevin or Neil, I'll answer it. We just aren't as heavy in the dabble versus a lot of the great podcasts are out there, or streams, I guess. Who would win in a roast battle, Leslie Jones or Schaub against each other? That would be a horrible battle. I mean, Leslie, because she is funnier than Schaub. But, to be honest with you, a lot of good roast battle comics are not good stand-ups. So, Schaub, if he got, if it was a one-round battle and Schaub got a good line in, it's tough to come back. Because if you look at my battle on TV with Sarah Tiana, the great Sarah Tiana, my first joke kind of bombed. I mean, it didn't hit. Maybe it didn't bomb, but it didn't hit. So in a one-round battle, I've got to hope her next two jokes bomb and my next two jokes kill. So then I'm at even again. So now three-round battle, you've got some room for a joke to not do well and come back. But um, I remember when Jesus Trejo beat Tony Hinchcliffe in a three-round battle. Jesus didn't have a good first round because he's not a roaster, but he kind of stunned. You could tell he was a little nervous going up against Tony and whatnot, and then for some miraculous reason, he just hit his stride in rounds 2 and 3. But if that was only a one-round battle, Tony would have killed him. So there you go. Great Nick DiPaolo joke to Patrice O'Neill. Patrice said, Doctor said I have 9 out of 10 things that kills N-words. DiPaolo said, is a handgun one of them? Yes. I mean, DiPaolo would be a great, anyone who's quick. Harlan Williams destroying David Lucas on Kill Tony. Harlan is not a roast comic by any stretch, but he's such a brilliant comedy mind that he destroyed someone who is labeled a roast comic. Random statement. I wish Earl would make a couple rap songs, possibly featuring Tyler, the Creator. Well, but Schaub should have a good MMA show. I mean, listen, he was a high level heavyweight. I think he fought for maybe the title once. So I would watch an MMA show with Schaub as long as he wasn't trying to be funny on it. More entertaining than more. I can't really rap. I only have one rap. I have 2 raps memorized, and that's I think, what's it, Belle Biv DeVoe? No, New Edition. Why you all coming down on me, trying to tell me how my life is supposed to be? I know you're only trying to help me out, trying to show me what life is really about, but this time I want to make it on my own. So why don't you fellas just leave me alone? Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike. I like a girl who knows what she likes. Cool it now. And then the beginning of the Kiss song, All Hell's Breaking Loose. Street hustler comes up to me one day when I'm walking down the street minding my own business. Now he looks me up, he looks me down and says, "Hey man, that ain't cool. What be this and what be that? And why do you gotta look like that?" I just looked at him, I kind of laughed and said, "Hey man, that ain't cool. I had to breathe." Grange, $5. Thank you very much. Grange, have you ever met Emo Phillips? I have not, but he's in my favorite episode of Miami Vice with Phil Collins, Martin Ferrero, called Phil the Shill. That's when Switek went on a game show when he was supposed to be working undercover. Who will you break bread with first, Ross or Callan? Never Callan. And I've heard people close to Ross say, "Hey, Jeff would be willing to talk to you if you apologize to him." And I'm like, that is this business in a nutshell. So I'm the guy who gets fucked over in 2 TV shows, taken off the Adam Roast, banned from the room on Tuesday nights when Roast Battle is playing, And I've got to apologize. I don't think so. So probably never, to be honest with you. Uh, I mean, I don't know if Dice would be great at roast battle because once again, like Jimmy Carr's great at shitting on people in the crowd because they're not capable of firing back at him. But you saw in our battle, and Jimmy Carr's awesome for the record. Awesome. It's one, roast battle is combat, live combat. So I don't think Jimmy was used to someone talking to him like I did. Sam Tripoli would be good at roasting. Who gets more women, Callan or Ross? I mean, probably pretty equal, to be honest with you. Sam Tripoli. Sam is very sensitive and he's got a quick mind and he's a great comic. But roast battle isn't necessarily about who a great comic is. It's just not. It's roast battle is it's skilled bullying, and I should say it's skilled and well-timed bullying. So like every battle I had, I knew it was going to be an old joke. So I had to figure out a way to, like, when I was battling this fat guy, every joke was Earl, you're so old, blah 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 blah. But my way to kind of neutralize that was to say, bro, you're 200 pounds overweight. You're going to die before me. And the crowd loved it. So and Earl, you fuck young girls. Yeah, they're all above 18. I'm good. Rogan has lots of great comics on, no doubt, but talentless slobs like Shab and Rogan's orbit get famous seems to be the closest proof that Rogan is a Diddy-like figure for the comedy world. I don't think you could say that. I mean, I don't think Rogan's having sex parties where he's forcing people to do things. I mean, I see what you're saying, but I would not agree with that statement, how you worded it. Earl once opened up for Wilson Phillips, and then I did comedy. Hello. You think Leslie will ask Emily to showcase Lenny Marcus? Probably not. Probably not. Oh, no problem, Big V. Mr. Telephone Man, there is something wrong with my line. I don't know what that's referencing, Zoomy. Are you cool with Kurt Angle? Never met him. Someone just asked me, do I listen to hockey podcasts? I listen to King of the Podcast, which I have been on with the Mayor John Hoven and Dennis Bernstein. Spitting Chicklets every now and then. Emo won the game show, yes. But it was rigged. It was rigged. What else could explain Shab's ascent? Then, well, but that's the business. Well, no. I mean, I'm not. I understand what you're saying, but I don't think you can compare Rogan helping all the people he's helped to Diddy. I don't think Joe needs anything from anyone. Whereas Diddy, he whatever he needed, he was looking for at these parties. Is Kurt Metzger a good dude? He is. I get along very well with Kurt Metzger. I would say a road comic, Queen on. What about Michael Ian Black, David Wayne, or Michael Showalter? Would you roast battle one of them? Well, no, because I don't know any. I don't know them. It's not good when like if I were to roast any of the three of them, I would just look up information on the internet. It wouldn't be personal. The best battles are the personal ones. Who would win the looks? Dr. Nova, you're out of control. I'll go with a boom shakalaka. Private account. Hi. Hello. So the best roast battles are the ones where people know each other. Like, but there are some where like me and Jimmy Carr had really good chemistry. I'd never really met him before. Me and K. Trevor Wilson had a great battle. Never really met him before. Tom Ballard and I had a very good roast battle. Never really met him before. And me and Olivia, we had a great battle, but we were very close at that time. So I think that the best battles are the people because you can go hard on you. Well, you dated this person. Well, you dated that person. Well, or if you've hooked up with the person, well, your pussy stunk. Well, your dick didn't work, and blah 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 blah. Well, maybe if your pussy didn't stink, it would work, bitch. Would you beat Chandler in a battle? Earl, you were hands down one of my favorite roasters on Roast Battle. I appreciate that. SCVID show. Would I beat Chandler in a battle? Chandler's very good. She's never battled before. I mean, I don't know what she's done the last couple of years. I'm assuming she's not roast battling. Chandler's very quick, and she's got that Tiana vibe where you can call her anything you want, and she's gonna smile at you and then hit you with a fucking hard zinger. So, I at this time I would not roast battle Chandler. It wouldn't be the nicest of battles from either side. Earl, would you enjoyed Howard Stern's second chair like Jackie? Fuck yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even care what the money was like. You just say, "Hey, I'll be at the Comedy Store this Friday night," and it's sold out. Fuck yeah. How about you and Dolph Ziggler, aka the original Z-Man? Dolph's very funny, and we're good friends. We're friends. Maybe not good friends, but I would battle Dolph Ziggler. Uh, George. Well, I mean, here's the thing about roast battle is, you do it, but like in my case, I can't speak for George or anyone else, but like in my case, I beat Jimmy Carr and it got me nothing, literally nothing. So, um, it's like I have no motivation to battle. Like you beat the number one comic in the fucking world and it gets you nothing. So what would beating some local comic do for me? I have to have some stakes in it. Like, hey Earl, if you beat Dolph Ziggler, you get on season 4 of the TV show or whatever. Whatever happened to Chandler? I mean, I think she moved to the East Coast. I heard she moved to New York City. Um, that's I don't, I'm the type that I've never been on her Instagram. I've never been on her Facebook. Of course, people tell me things, and I don't really. It's not that I don't care, but I don't go on X's social media, especially someone like Chandler, where it wasn't the best breakup. Not that breakups are good, but because you're never going to go on their social media and find something that's going to make you happy. You're going to see them with another dude, or uh, you're going to see them on a TV show. I mean, Chandler's incredibly talented, so I'm sure she got work up the yin yang. And she's a very beautiful girl, so I'm sure the dates are plentiful. So I don't want to see that. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to see it. Um, so, you that's it. I thought you were talking about Chandler the super chatter at first. No, we're talking about Chandler, my ex Beyonce. Uh, all right, yeah. Follow Chandler Barbie. I hold no grudges. Don't tell her I sent you though. That probably will get you blocked. Yes, R.I.P. Greg Giraldo. He was one of the greats in the comedy and roasting world. So, well, I didn't know. Oh, yeah, we were engaged. I mean, me and Chandler dated late 2018 to the middle of 2022, and then you know things happen. She got, or she did. I will say this. She did. I did not want to get Annie the German Shepherd. I mean, it was, a sales pitch to me. Hey, Earl, do you want to get this dying dog from the foundation? I'm like, not really. I don't really want to get attached to a dog and then have it die. You know, uh, 3 months later. But me and Shan, we got Annie after an original 3-month diagnosis to go to about 10 months. So, well, I mean, I don't think I'm gonna talk about why it ended poorly on a birthday stream, but, Annie was an amazing dog. But, we had, most problems, that other couples have, but they were probably, exasperated by the pandemic. I was just talking about this with someone yesterday that, if you're dating someone now and you're having an argument or a fight or whatever, um, you can, say, "Hey, I'm gonna go play hockey with the boys. I'll be back in a few hours." Or, "Hey, I'm gonna play golf by myself, go to the driving range." But, in the pandemic, if you had problems, you couldn't leave the fucking house. So there's that energy just stewed. And I'm convinced that if there was no pandemic, we would have gotten married because our problems weren't that bad. But uh no, the age gap was not a problem because she's an old soul and I don't act 56. Are you gonna treat yourself to a rub and tug birthday? No, that's not my life anymore. Yes, the lighter note, but I'll talk about anything. So you guys can ask. I may not answer every question about personal shit because that involves, I think when you ask about a breakup in particular, you're just getting my side of the story, where she, I'm sure, has one. I've heard her side. I don't know if I agree with it, but uh, you know, uh, you know, when you ask a couple about a breakup, there's my side, Chan's side, and then there's the truth. So if you did a roast battle, would she? Well, I don't know. You'd have to ask her that, to be honest with you. I mean, I would be ready. She's incredibly funny and dark. If you watch some of her stand up on YouTube, I think, um, you'll see like even some stand up clips from like excuse me, 5, 6, 7 years ago. Um, you know, uh, she's always been very funny and got a very similar sense of humor to mine, where we don't mind pushing boundaries. So it would be an all-time roast battle, but I'm not going to help out a show that didn't exactly treat me very well. I mean, I'm sure Jeff would have no problem if Moses said, "Hey, Earl and Chandler want a roast battle. It's the main event, baby, and it's about a 45 round battle." Uh, ever meet Tommy Lasorda? I did meet Tommy Lasorda. He came to my grade school, Beverly Hills Catholic School, and I forget what he talked about, but I had a Cincinnati Reds hat on because I didn't give a fuck. King Griffey, Cesar Geronimo, Davey Concepcion, Ed Armbrister, Johnny Bench, my dad's golfing partner. Carlos Gomez, $5. Thank you for taking a pic with me in Vegas. Happy birthday. Thank you, Carlos. Earl, you think Iran is behind the assassination? I'm assuming you mean assassination attempts, possibly. I don't know. I mean, I think so far the second assassinator seems to be a lone wolf, although he did have some interesting travels, kind of like Lee Harvey Oswald. So maybe, maybe not. The first guy, same thing, young, impressionable kid. Um, Seems to be a lone wolf, but listen, there's a lot of people don't like Trump. Uh, I'm worried about Kamala. Like, a lot of people don't like her, and that's going to happen at some point. So I don't know. I mean, um, I don't know. I mean, listen, anything's possible. I mean, I think that a lot of foreign countries probably think Trump is the best candidate to get in because, he'll look the other way on some stuff and freestyle. And some countries are probably scared of him, when they asked him. I think what got me to vote for him was that one time they asked him, "Well, what would you do about ISIS?" And Trump, was like, "I'd bomb the shit out of them." I mean, it was a very honest answer. So I think that scares, some countries, and other countries like, "Hey, man, this guy's a wingnut." Um, Thank you, Carlos. Peter Chicken Man Brennan, can you get the great Tommy Morris for my brother KB's 1000th episode? I could make that happen 100%. Is your favorite Dodgers player Kurt Gibson? I mean, I'm a Reds guy, but if growing up, I grew up in the Dodger era of, Garvey, Say, Bill Russell, Davey Lopes, Joe Ferguson, the catcher, uh, Rick Monday, Ivan de Jesus. Uh, my favorite Dodger, I guess Steve Garvey. Earl, you think? Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Thank you, Munch. Mr. Wade, good to see you. I heard there was a sale on pagers. Hello. And Trump destroyed ISIS in 6 months. No world leader is afraid of Kamala. Well, I think Uganda is. Hello. Dusty Baker, yeah. I mean, Pedro. I still have. If I wasn't so lazy, I would go get it. I have a foul ball um, from. This is my memory disease. I have. I was at a Friday night game, the Cincinnati Reds and the Dodgers. A 3-2 pitch from Cincinnati Red pitcher Jim Kern to number 28, Pedro Guerrero. Ball goes into. I was sitting in the second deck, first base side, good seats. I don't sit with the pores. Shit. And the ball hit the third level, hit some old guy's head behind me, and fell into my lap. And I got that shit. I still have the ball. Are you a Tommy Morrison fan? I'm not a fan of his off the ring behavior, but he's a good boxer. Charlie Huff, the knuckleballer. Rick Rhoden. I mean, we could get into the pitching staff. Biggie 21. Boy. My dad has a 1969 San Francisco Giants sign ball. Mays, McCubby, Bonds. I was at Willie McCubby's last game at Dodger Stadium. I was a big Willie McCubby fan. I loved Jack Clark. He looked like a dick. He had that stance where it was like, go ahead, throw me the ball. I'm going to hit it, bitch. Let me see. I mean, my favorite baseball. I mean, Dave Parker was my favorite baseball player of all time. I have a rookie card of him right there. Nolan Ryan, greatest pitcher of all time. It's pretty hard to dispute that. Bert Perkins. I rarely get a red super chat like this. Hello. Dang, you are a candid dude. Happy birthday. Could we get a birthday story about Lemmy and Tom Morris? For $49, you can get whatever. Well, in terms of my candidness, and I'm assuming you're meaning the Chandler questions. I don't talk bad about exes. I just don't, because that shows you still care. And I didn't even talk bad about the ex who said I threw her down a flight of stairs, because it's just like, I'm an open book. I'm honest Earl. So, that's what I'm trying to make this stream. Obviously I know it's my birthday and you guys are being very generous today, and I do appreciate that. But I really want to make this stream into a non-shit talking, and just ask me life questions and I'll answer them. Obviously with Chan, I'm not a fan of everything that went down toward the end, but that's between me and her. And at this point, I highly doubt we'll ever talk again, which is crazy to think that we were going to get married. And, it's been 2.5 years since we've talked, and we dated 3.5 years, which is insane to me. But, I don't, when I feel like I've treated someone right, I don't chase. I did message her once when our mutual friend Jack Knight killed himself. Didn't hear back from her, so I was like, okay. The Cobra, send in the Cobra. Let me get to Lemmy. Cool story about Lemmy. Well, I probably already told it, but as many of you know, I used to date, speaking of exes, a girl named Shelly B. She is still to this day handles Motorhead's affairs. Motorhead will always have business. Everyone wants a Motorhead t-shirt. I had a t-shirt on the other day, a Motorhead t-shirt with a Santa hat on it. It must have been stopped 20 times in one day. Where'd you get that shirt? Who is that? So I lived not right next door to Lemmy, but very close, a couple blocks over. So they had to, Motorhead constantly toured. That's really where they made their money, selling shirts at the shows. I mean, they never had that like 5, 10 million selling record. I think most of their records toward the end, they sell 100,000, 200,000, which isn't bad, but it's not great. But their wrestling songs really helped. I'll give Triple H that. I don't like how Triple H handled Sting, but he did take care of Lemmy and Motorhead. And Lemmy, who did not have to share the publishing with Phil and Mickey, the drummer, he did. So they tour constantly, and Lemmy would not be at home a lot, so I would have to go get his mail. And the first time I did it, Shelly's like, "Hey, keys in the top dresser drawer." So I'll see if I can. I'll use this. Oh, here's a picture of me and Annie. So I go in the top dresser drawer in the living room. I open it up, and hundreds of pictures about this size. That's me and Annie. They fall out, so I'm panicking. I put the key in my pocket. I'm taking all these pictures, and I'm just sticking them back in the drawer. And then one was face up, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" And it was a picture of, about this size, Lemmy getting oral sex from a black lady, and I just froze. I literally had body paralysis. And then I started looking at the ground, and I look where Lemmy is, and I'm standing in the exact spot that he was getting blown in. So I started like literally shaking, like, oh my God. I could not move. Lemmy's house could have been on fire and really would have been burned alive because I could not, like I froze. And then I start looking around and I see a camera over there, a camera straight ahead, and a camera over there. And they are all three pointing in the direction that I was standing in. So Lemmy was a voyeur, if you know what I'm saying, brother. Um, so Earl dated Shelley Duvall. I wish. Rest in peace, Shelley Duvall. Yes, Nolan Ryan definitely um, beat up Ventura in that fight. I mean, here's the thing: they didn't really even have a radar gun back then. I mean, I would say the top 5 most intimidating pitchers in terms of fastballs and whatnot, in no particular order, because it's all subjective. I'd say Nolan Ryan, Bob Gibson, J.R. Richard, man, that guy threw fucking gas. And I'm trying to think. I mean, Phil Niekro on the opposite end, because that knuckleball was so hard to hit. And then Tom Browning was I'm not saying he's a top 5 pitcher of all time, but he was a great lefty for the Reds. Troy Percival, very intimidating. I'm just talking about players that I watch. Kent Tekulve was unique with the sidewinder. Tommy Morris, I don't really have any great stories about Tommy. I mean, when he came on my podcast, that was interesting because everyone hated him. And I had heard that he reached out to Mark Maron to get his side of the story out. And so I was like, hey, come on my podcast. And it was like a 2-hour podcast. And, I think I had to go. So, he thanked me and calls me from his car, I guess. And it's like, hey, I had a great time. I'd love to come back. And I'm like, oh, yeah, man, anytime. And he's like, well, what are you doing tomorrow? Like, they came back like 2 days later. I was not expecting, most people would have been, I'll come back in a couple weeks. And then that's really the only Tommy story I have. We didn't really talk a lot because I knew deep down he was never going to pass me. So I was like, oh, this is a waste of time talking to this guy. I'm trying to think of some other, and Joaquin Andujar, he was kind of a wild child up there. Of course, Mark the Bird Fidrich was, kind of a goofy guy. Bill Lee, the spaceman. I like my favorite Motorhead song, I would say Born to Raise Hell. There's a great version where, the Ugly Kid Joe singing Doro Pesh sang it with him. Eat the Rich is a good song. Peter Chicken Man Brennan. Wait, who would get looks in India about their body odor? Crispy chicken, hernia, Francesca Hilton, 100%. Boone never smelled. I was at Mel's Diner with my friend Sophie, the waitress from the Comedy Store. She doesn't work there anymore. And Francesca Hilton sat behind us. And I remember me and Sophie were both instantly like, Jesus Christ, what smells? And I whispered to Sophie, this lady behind me smells like death. And she literally died, I think, the next day. I mean, it was not BO. It was like just a heavy, pungent odor. It was brutal. Francesca was always cool to me. RFK Jr. did not. Why didn't you guys troll RFK Jr.? So why didn't you wish him happy birthday? Uh, did he stink? Did who stink? Bird Bird. Oh, Tommy. Not really. Um, the I'm trying to think. I don't really have any Tommy stories. I find it hilarious that YouTube accurate autocorrects the spelling of Motorhead with the little dots over the O and everything. I know that is, um, I do find that funny. Lenny getting it, Leslie Jones. Hello. I don't know what that means, Teddy. What does RFK Jr. smell like? I'm like a human, I guess. Speaking of smells, when was the last time you had diarrhea? I mean, it's been a while. I have so much protein and fiber and shit passing through me that my duties are pretty solid. Uh, Francesca was kind of hot back in the day. Now, toward the end of her life, she looked a little weathered. Um, Boone never smelled like BO. Chase Utley, I don't know what that means. Cole Hamels. Teddy, are you talking about oh, those are your favorite baseball players. Um, I'm trying to think of some more intimidating pitchers. Yeah, I mean Randy Johnson, definitely a very intimidating pitcher. Pedro Ramirez, he'd throw at your head. Roger Clemens, very intimidating pitcher. Um, I liked who was it? Tom Hume. Didn't he pitch on the Reds? He looked like a librarian with the big spectacles. He was a good pitcher for the Reds. Um, I'm trying to think of other intimidating pitchers. J.R. Richard was a big, big fucking dude, and he threw heat. I think the Angels pitcher, Air Gagne, was a great pitcher. Hockey guy, too, so he had that hockey background. Um, since the Tommy story was it's the only Tommy story I have. I'm trying to think. Well, here, I'll tell. It's not really a story, but it is the first time I met Tommy. Um, So I walk into the original room and, Sunday night, it was, potluck. They used to do potluck in the open mic Sunday and Monday night. And, it's really my first time back there in quite a while. And, someone had told me, "Hey, you gotta talk to the guy with the mullet in the booth." I'm standing in the doorway, and, Yorcy Thomas was the comic on stage. Yorcy's a African I'm just kinda watching him and, like, I'm trying to figure out how do I get on the stage, so I'm not really listening to your scene, no offense. And Tommy comes up to me, and I've never met this guy before, puts his arm around me, goes, "Well, Earl, Yorcy's acting like a real Newport tonight." And I think I was so shocked that I think I agreed with him. I'm like, "Yeah," because this is the guy who's gonna give me stage time. I was like, "Yeah, he is. Can I get a spot?" And then he looks at me and goes, "He's really aping out." And I'm like, "Yeah, man." And then he just walked off. That's a better story than the Chicken Man, uh, Chicken Man, Brody Stevens, then, the Patty Please story. I know, that's crazy, right? The guy in charge is speaking to someone he's never met before like that. Brody Stevens, a great pitcher, good fastball, but I think the guy on the Angels, the reliever on the Angels this year, threw, 105.9 or point 8 miles an hour. Arguably, they say it was the fastest pitch of all time, 105.9. But Jesus Christ, ER, brother, ER, brother. Um, so, that was just kind of like, huh? Yeah, man, he saw a fellow like yeah, I don't think, I was like-minded in that regard. Now, you would think me and Tommy would have gotten along from the standpoint of, we're both from the '80s. He used to book David Lee Roth at his club in Tampa, and he was, ran bikini contest or whatever, wet t-shirt contest. So, uh, oh, okay. See, I'm not familiar with many I don't really watch baseball a lot. I rarely watch the Angels, but my friend, the great Patrick O'Neill, son of Ryan O'Neill, and of course, the guy in Die Hard 2 who John Amos slits his throat because he wasn't with them in Grenada. He also is King's in between periods guy. Um, I don't. I loosely watch the Angels still, but they've been so fucking bad for so long. I'd rather watch the Kings. Uh, which comedian did you ever meet that you were starstruck? I don't really get starstruck, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm around celebrities every night, Now, I got a little starstruck when I met, George McPhee on Monday, because that was literally the guy, along with Barry Beck, who got me into watching hockey. So I was, like, kinda stopped in my tracks. I'm like, "Oh, fuck, that's George McPhee." And if you go on my Instagram, you'll see the picture. He was awesome. Starstruck. Maybe Hulk Hogan the first time I met him, which was in Motorhead's dressing room at WrestleMania. Like, everyone knew what a wrestling fan I was, and, like, he's saying hello to everyone, he's about to leave, and everyone, I think even Lemmy pushed me, says, "Go talk to him," and I'm like, "Nah, I don't wanna bother him." And then finally, I I think I said, "Mr. Hogan, can I get a picture with you?" And he just looks at me and goes, "You got it, brother." Uh, Jim Carrey, I mean, obviously, I'm a fan, I met him at Roast Battle. Funny story, this was before I started battling, and I was just doing the house racist heckler character, and, the whole time I was doing that character, it was like an homage, if you will, to, um, Archie Bunker, and no one ever got that. I would tell people, I guess I'm kinda ripping off Archie Bunker, and people would be like, "No, you're more Statler and Waldorf." So Jim Carrey was judging one night, and I was pretty amped up. He was in the room, so I started, like, saying some wacky shit in the vein of Archie Bunker, and, as I'm leaving that night, everyone's up Jim Carrey's ass, and Jim Carrey walks away from whoever he was talking to, whispers into my ear and says, "Hey, Archie, where's Edith?" And then he just walked away, and that's one of the few moments in life where I could quit comedy and live. When Jim Carrey, like, that's how brilliant his comedy mind is that he got exactly what I was doing, probably 2 jokes in. I've met many rock stars, politicians, presidents, actors. You just gotta act like they are regular people. Yeah, they like that. I mean, like with Tyler, the Creator, when he said, I want you to be the dad of my cartoon." I didn't say, "Who the fuck are you?" But I was like, "Who are you?" And he liked that. So, I think that's the great thing about, um, treating celebrities like, hey, and my mom gave me the best advice. She's like, "Earl, we all shit out of the same hole." So as hot as Taylor Swift and Billie Eilish are, they've had diarrhea before. And that is life's great equalizer. We're going to go 5 more minutes. We'll go to 1 hour and 35 minutes in the Earlverse birthday stream. So let me thank the tippers one last time this evening. Queen on. Ross Dogs, J-Man Jack, Queen on Again, The Chicken Man, ACDC 5150, Ted E. Grange, Carlos Gomez, and the legend of Bert Perkins. Thank you very much. I appreciate the tips, the generosity. Uh, Someone asked me about 25 minutes ago, and I apologize. It just came into my head. What with the special? We are putting not final touches, but we are really editing some very good clips we're going to release on the documentary, and we are, still looking for a location. I won't do it at just a regular theater. It's not going to be special. It's just going to look like everyone else is fucking special. So the special is still in progress, but I promise you it will be worth it. Trust me on that one. Peter Chicken Man Brennan, if Bobby Lee asked you to voice his dad on his Hulu cartoon, would you with accent, of course. You mean like an Asian accent? I don't think he's gonna ask me, but would I do it? Yeah, a gig's a gig. Um, the porn theater is in a very weird, I guess, it's in a state of flux, I guess. There's not even a realtor's name on it anymore. It's just abandoned. So now I did get where I did XPW, the Nocturne Theater. They gave me a price sheet, and I didn't know this at the time, but this is where Adam Sandler did his last special. But the price sheet, with all the bells and whistles and everything, is probably about 20 grand. Now you got to also have set design, so that's probably 5 to 10 grand. And then to promote it and whatnot. So I mean, to really put out a special on your own, it's going to be between 35 and 50 grand. Um, Doug Stanhope would let you use his place, I'd bet, but you'd have to go to Bisbee. Well, here's the problem. I don't think I could get people to go to Bisbee. Like, there's an Aviator Nation store in Malibu that's kind of a cool um, vibe to it, but I don't know if I could get people to go to Malibu, let alone Bisbee. Just film it at the Comedy Store. I want your eyes, pig. Just film. It's not that simple, bro. And the Comedy Store is going to want a lot of money, because it's the Comedy Store. But there has also been a lot of comics who've done it at the Comedy Store. So I don't want people to be, I'll assume on YouTube, maybe Netflix, under the best case scenario. Okay, here's a special at the Comedy Store. Great. I want it to be like, there's Earl in some weird location. Like, what the fuck is this? And then they stop and hopefully stay for the jokes. I mean, ultimately, I want people to think walk away from this thinking, hey, this guy's pretty funny. Let's go see him. Rent out the hotel you mentioned. Yeah, I mean, that's, there's, but it's got, it's also the sound quality. Like, um, that's, um, also, like I'm not doing this just to fucking say, hey, I have a special out. Anyone could say that now. Um, could you do a state fair or something? That'd be too loud. An outdoor venue is not optimal for sound. I mean, I would have to spend a ton of money at an outdoor venue for sound. And, I'm not trying to be cheap. I don't want to be cheap. I mean, obviously, I've done stand up for 25 years. This will be my first special, so I don't want to cut corners or lowball people. Like the multitude of live albums from the Whiskey a Go Go. I mean, I've even thought of the Whiskey a Go Go. Like no one's ever done a show there, but they're probably going to want a lot of fucking money. Um, I don't know. I don't want to do it at a comedy club or a theater. I could go tomorrow and rent a theater on Santa Monica Boulevard that probably seats 100 people. I could definitely fill that up. But then it's just going to look like every other fucking special that's out there. And I'm really trying to make sure that, as soon as you hit play on, oh, Earl Skakel special, the guy from Roast Battle, let me check it out. Play, and you look at the venue and go, oh, this is interesting. And then you hear the first joke you like, and you stay for the rest. How about one of those rando places that does open mic? I mean, once again, though, the sound's got to be good. Like most coffee shops have hardwood floors, and it's going to be very echoey. Like I've actually thought about this shit. A Chinese restaurant, I don't know about that, Bert Perkins. Do it live poolside at the old Skakel estate in the hills. Listen, as wacky of an idea as that is, I don't know if the current owners of the house would be down for that, but, something like that is intriguing to me, but I don't think people who live in a $12 million home are gonna want a bunch of random strangers at their poolside. Uh, I mean, yeah, Polly loves me. I mean, Polly was very complimentary toward me the other day. I guess the word on the street was I did very well at the mothership, and Polly's like, "Bro, I heard you killed at the mothership." So, and my brother partied with Polly back in the day, so do it at a brothel in Vegas. I mean, an aquarium, maybe, dude. I mean, Tom Green has a theater in his house. Yeah, I mean, it's still not dead to do it in my condo. I mean, you guys can't really see, but it's a 1,800 square foot condo, so it's not small. But the front, um, where the condo or where the special would be right over here, and the hardwood floors. Now you could obviously with acoustic tools make it um, sound good, but I mean the budget for a show in my condo was 30 grand. So obviously, I don't have to pay for a venue, but because of um, the acoustical problems that we would have in this condo, the camera crew and the sound would be some obstacles. Come to my house in Alabama. Well, as long as Chandler's family doesn't have a hit squad out after me, that could be a possibility. But something like that is uh, would be interesting, like from the standpoint of doing it in a fan's house. It's never been done before. Now that fan's house would probably have to be in Los Angeles, just because that's where not most of my fans are, but for something like this, it would behoove me to be local. Um, So, how many cleaning crew women that take care of your condo monthly? I mean, I'm really clean. I'm anal only in that way. So I'm my own cleaning crew, but there's a lot of cleaning women here who service the other condos. Too bad Blue Iris isn't still alive. You could do it from her carbonous pussy. There'd be enough room for everyone, and the acoustics are probably pretty good. Not sure about the smell though. I was one of the last people to see Blue Iris in the hospital. She had a line out the door, and even the nurse was like, "Who is this girl?" There's been nonstop people coming. So we'll go to 140. So 3 more minutes, guys. Get your questions or whatever. I heard about some diarrhea lies by O'Neill, Bert Perkins lies. Um, so I mean, I want it to be special. I mean, I even thought of asking Russell Peters. Now Russell's last home I was at had a theater in it. Like, hey man, that would be pretty funny to do it in Russell Peters' theater. And Russell's cool enough where he probably would let me do it at his house. So, it's just something that it's not as easy as it sounds, locking down a unique venue. you know, so I hope to, obviously I want to get it out. I mean, I just turned 56. Stand up comedy is a young person's ball game. Trust me on that one, baby dolls. Ryan O'Neal is out of control. Also, Earl, do you still get raging erections from watching MMA? Ever since UFC kind of switched from DirecTV to their online, I don't watch a lot of UFC anymore. I couldn't name you one current heavyweight fighter. I mean, you got to understand, I'm old school. I was watching UFC when Paul the Headhunter Bontello was in the mix. Um, Thank you, Bert Perkins, for the birthday wishes, the very generous super chat. I appreciate all. And thank you to everyone else who donated on I shouldn't say donate, who tipped on the birthday stream. Thank you, Night Moose. We're just about to end in 1 minute. See, I could stay on for another hour and try and bilk you guys for money, but that ain't my style. In terms of when the next stream will be, who knows? Might do one tomorrow. I still have to do the Eddie Nash stream. Be on the lookout for that. That might be this Sunday. I'll be at the Comedy Store Saturday night, closing out the main room. Thank you very much. And Sunday night, I will be in the original room. If you are local, let me know. What action figures? Oh, that is a this is a bad boy Joey Janela uh, doll. He autographed Joey Janela, the great Joey Janela. This is an Eric Bischoff doll. Oh, the other side. That is Brody Lee, Sting, an autographed Scorpio Sky, a RoboCop, a Gene Simmons, and you can barely see it right there, but that is a game used Pierre-Luc Dubois Chrome Dome Kings helmet, courtesy as a gift from the Los Angeles Kings. So this concludes the Earl Skakel birthday stream. Thank you all for tuning in. I have been enjoying the docuseries, Dr. Nova. Michael Connolly is very thorough, but after watching the first 2 episodes, I still believe that my style of documentary would be a great sister companion, because I would focus more on the celebrities who went to the Starwood, the Odyssey, Alibaba's Seven Seas, where I believe is the current location of Jimmy Kimmel's show. I mean, Michael Connolly is basically breaking down the facts of the case, and I think by the end of the 4th episode, he's going to say, "Hey, there's still someone out there who got away with murder." Thank you, Ross. Try and make things interesting. I want to hear more stories from inside his house. I mean, I definitely wasn't invited to those parties, but I did go there with a friend from Alabama um, about a month ago on a Sunday night. And man, that's an eerie cul-de-sac. Now they've totally remodeled Eddie Nash's house. I'm sure the people who live there were like, we don't want looky. We're going to tear down the house. And so people might not even know it's Eddie Nash's house. Excuse me. But here's the crazy thing. The Wonderland Murder House literally looks the same. And I believe that lady has taken the address off so people kind of get confused. But if you are familiar with the Wonderland Murders, you know that house. You won't need to see the address. Also, I think the voiceover is a little bit overwrought, but the footage is absolutely awesome. Seeing and hearing David Lynn was really cool. I mean, I think hearing Liberace's lover, who just passed, has been fascinating. Um, and you could tell he's holding some stuff back. You could tell, like, when Michael Connolly asked him a question, he kind of like, okay, what do I say without getting in trouble? I mean, people in 2024 are still fucking afraid of Eddie Nash. I mean, I've told this story before, but I asked a very well-known rock and roll friend of mine, because I believe he had gone to the Starwood. I don't think his band ever played there. He might have played there in like a, open mic type of band, but he just shot me a look of like, hey man, I don't want to talk about him. So, I mean, I would have been, I think, a better choice to do the voiceover. But, Michael Connolly, I'm a big fan of Michael Connolly's the Bosch. I think the final season is happening. I believe Bosch is on Amazon, or it might be on Peacock. I can't keep up, man. I confuse Peacock with Paramount Plus, and like I think Bosch at one point where I watched on was Amazon. So I got to catch up on the last. I saw the last season of Bosch Legacy, so there's which was the last season. So I got to get on that. So thank you guys very much for all the birthday wishes, and once again the tips. I very much appreciate it. And I had a good time tonight. Sorry I didn't do it last night, but a friend took me to dinner, and I was just I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I was running behind. So I love you all. Earl Skakel, the Earlverse, over and out.